In this training video, I am going to give you the best answers to the 20 most difficult interview questions. If you have a job interview coming up soon, these questions will come up, so make sure you stay tuned. And just very quickly, if you are new to my YouTube channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please give the video a thumbs up, give it a like, and tell me the name of the job you are applying for in the comment section below the video, and I will give you some extra tips to help you pass. Okay, let's start working through these brilliant answers to the top 20 most difficult interview questions. Please take notes. The first question you will have to answer at your job interview is going to be, tell me about yourself. Let me give you two brilliant tips for giving the perfect answer before I give you my excellent sample response. Tip number one, make sure you use my seat method to structure your answer. And you can remember my seat method because you will be sitting down on a seat at your interview. So when you answer the question, tell me about yourself, talk about these four things: the skills you have that match the job description, your education background, and any experience you can bring to their company, any achievements you have attained from previous job roles or your personal life, and finish your answer by telling the interviewer the type of person you are and what you will do in the role for their company. And tip number two, I recommend you keep your answer to approximately 60 seconds in duration, and make sure you practice your response lots before your interview, because this will help create a brilliant first impression and show that you have excellent communication skills. So let me now give you my brilliant seat method answer to the question, tell me about yourself. Write this down. Thank you for this opportunity. My skills are an excellent match for the job description. I am a confident problem solver, a good communicator, and a supportive collaborator, and I have a strong work ethic, meaning I complete more work than the average employee. My qualifications are a great match for this job role and industry. I have experience working on small and large teams, completing time-sensitive projects, and overcoming workplace challenges. I am a high achiever. In my last job, my manager praised my cost-conscious work approach and how I always asked customers and clients for feedback to help the business improve. If you hire me, I will be a good role model for the company, take responsibility for my professional development, and embrace change to help the company take advantage of new opportunities in the industry. And I look forward to sharing additional details regarding my suitability for this position in the interview. That is a brilliant answer, and you can see how effective my seat method is. Interview question number two is, why do you want this job? Here's two very important tips. Tip number one, do not say you want the job because of the salary or benefits. If you say that, you will probably not get hired. It is important to say in your answer that you are passionate about the job role and industry. And tip number two, I also recommend you state that you want the job because it is with their company. Say that you have researched the company in your answer. So let me give you a brilliant response that will impress every hiring manager. Again, write this down. Why do you want this job? I want this job because I am passionate about this role and industry. We spend a lot of time at work, and I want that time to be spent doing something I enjoy while working with forward-thinking and supportive co-workers. I also want this job because it is with your company. I researched you before applying, and I am attracted to your company values, inclusive workplace culture, and progressive training for staff. Interview question number 3 is, what are your greatest strengths? Here are 2 invaluable tips. Tip number 1, the most effective way to answer this difficult question is to provide strengths that match the job description. Read the job description before your interview because it will list the skills, strengths and qualities needed to excel in the position. Now, the job description is essentially the blueprint for the role you have applied for. So make sure you get it and read it. And tip number 2, the best strengths in my experience for job interviews are commercial awareness, results orientation, problem solving, technical skills, and teamwork collaboration. Write down those 5 strengths and use them in your answer. So here is my brilliant sample response to help you pass your interview. What are your greatest strengths? My greatest strengths include problem solving, cost consciousness, collaboration, and responsiveness. When problems occur in a team, I take the lead to resolve them. I take care of company supplies and resources to help save money, and will find ways to make systems and processes efficient. I am a strong collaborator, support my co-workers, and focus intensely on my team's objectives. Finally, my responsiveness means I act quickly, resulting in increased work output. That is a great answer. Interview question 4 is, why do you want to leave your current job? Here's 2 very important tips. Tip number 1, do not say anything negative about current or former employers, co-workers or bosses. If you are negative, the interviewer might think it's you who has the problem. And tip number 2, good things to say in your answer include, you have reached your full potential, which is why you want to move on to a new job. Also, you are looking for a new challenge and you want to take on more responsibility. So here is another great answer. Why do you want to leave your current job? I want to leave my job because I am ready for a new challenge. I've enjoyed working for my employer, and the skills and knowledge I have gained will help me excel in my next position. Although I will leave my employer on excellent terms, I'm now ready for the next chapter of my career where I can collaborate on new and exciting projects that utilize my expertise while working alongside ambitious and like-minded professionals. Great answer. Interview question number 5, what is your biggest weakness? Here's 2 very important tips. Tip number 1, now lots of people answer this question by saying, I don't have any weaknesses, or they respond by saying, my biggest weakness is I am a perfectionist. Do not say either of those things because you will probably fail your interview. Tip number 2, now the best weaknesses in my experience for job interviews are as follows: public speaking, struggling to say no to people, finding it hard to strike a healthy work-life balance, and also finding it difficult to delegate tasks to other people. So here is a brilliant example response. What is your biggest weakness? My biggest weakness is that I find it difficult to say no to people. Because I am a people pleaser, I automatically say yes when someone asks me to help them, resulting in me sometimes overcommitting. I am aware of my weakness and taking positive steps to improve by assessing my capacity for additional work before saying yes. That is a great weakness that is suitable for all job interviews. Interview question number 6 is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Here's 2 great tips. Tip number 1, do not say you want to be working for a different company in 5 years' time. The hiring manager wants to hire someone who will commit to the job role for a lengthy period of time. Don't forget, it takes a lot of time, effort and resources to find someone for a job role. So if you are going to move on within a few months or a couple of years, they probably won't offer you the job. And tip number 2, great things to include in your answer are: you want to build a long-term career at their company. You will have completed lots of training courses during that 5-year period, and you will have experience across different company departments, and you will want to specialize in several business areas. So here is the perfect answer for you to write down and practice to that question: where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years, I would like to be working for your company in this role with lots more responsibility, or having earned a promotion. In 5 years, I would specialize in several business areas, gain experience across different departments to expand my company knowledge, and be an irreplaceable team asset. In 5 years, I would also like to be someone the company could use to help train new hires, which will develop my coaching skills. Interview question number 7 is: how would you deal with a conflict with a co-worker? Here's my 2 important tips to help you. Tip 1, the majority of candidates respond by saying this: I would tell my manager about the conflict so they could deal with it. If you give that answer, you will fail. Tip number 2, this question is assessing your conflict resolution skills. So make sure you say that you would take ownership of the conflict to achieve a successful outcome. Here is the perfect answer. How would you deal with a conflict with a co-worker? I appreciate that negative conflict has the potential to hinder a team's ability to progress. Therefore, I would take ownership of it to achieve a resolution. First, I would assess my words and actions to ensure I was not causing the conflict. Next, I would meet privately with my co-worker to ascertain their views about the cause of the conflict before holding open and honest conversations to find an amicable way forward that benefited our team. Interview question number 8 comes up all the time. Make sure you give a comprehensive answer. What experience do you have? Here's 2 great tips. Tip number 1, make sure you read the job description before your interview, because it will list the essential experience needed in the position. And tip number 2, the top 4 experiences hiring managers want are: working on teams, completing projects, problem solving, and client and customer care. So here is my brilliant example answer. What experience do you have that will help you pass your interview? This is an in-depth response. It needs to be comprehensive. Here we go. What experience do you have? Here we go. I have extensive experience working in team environments, problem solving, delivering on challenging projects, and customer care. For example, in my previous role, I was part of a cross-functional team tasked with delivering a time-sensitive project. I took the initiative to organise meetings, track progress, and ensure everyone stayed aligned on goals. In terms of problem solving, I encountered a situation where the company website crashed. I analysed the problem, researched possible causes online, and established the website server required upgrading. Additionally, I have a solid track record in client and customer care. In one instance, I worked closely with a dissatisfied customer, actively listening to their concerns and providing a resolution that not only solved their problem, but also strengthened their trust in our company. Now that is a brilliant example, because you are giving situations where you demonstrate each of the experiences you have. So you are saying that you've delivered on a time-sensitive project, you are saying that you solved a problem where the website crashed, and you are also dealing with a dissatisfied customer. That is an in-depth, comprehensive answer that will definitely help you pass any interview. Interview question number 9 comes up during 99% of job interviews. That question is, what's your greatest achievement? Tip number 1. Now, you are more likely to receive a job offer if you have a track record of achievement. Try to give an example of a situation where your achievement comes from a previous job role. And tip number 2, this is an important one. Make sure you use the STAR method to structure your answer. Talk about the situation you were in, explain the task that needed your attention, give details about the action you took, and then finish off with the results following your action. So here is my STAR method answer to that question. What's your greatest achievement? I wanted to help the company increase sales in my previous role. We operated in a highly competitive industry and I wanted us to be the best. My task was to seek ways to take advantage of market opportunities and meet customer demand. After conducting some research, I suggested to my manager that we implement an online customer survey and feedback form that could be sent to customers after each purchase. The form would enable us to obtain valuable customer feedback to help improve service standards and gauge appetite for new products and services. The form would also empower us to ask for online reviews, which would help build trust and loyalty with potential customers. After my manager agreed to implement the form, we started receiving great feedback, ideas and reviews from customers, which all contributed to a 17% increase in sales. That is a great answer. Interview question number 10 is, tell me about a time when you made a mistake. Tip number 1, do not make the mistake of saying you never make mistakes in your work because you are a perfectionist. This question assesses honesty and self-improvement. We all make mistakes from time to time, but it is how we respond to those mistakes that is being assessed with this tough question. And tip number 2, again, please make sure you use the STAR method to structure your answer: situation, task, action, and result. Here is my perfect response that uses the STAR method. Tell me about a time when you made a mistake. Early in my career, I accidentally sent an email with incorrect pricing information to several key clients. It was my responsibility to correct the error and ensure it did not damage client relationships or the company's reputation. As soon as I realized the mistake, I immediately informed my manager and drafted a follow-up email to apologize and clarify the correct pricing. I also personally called the clients to explain the situation and answer any questions. Additionally, I reviewed our email approval process and suggested improvements to prevent similar errors in the future. The clients appreciated my prompt and transparent communication. None of them decided to withdraw their business, and the updated approval process I implemented significantly reduced errors in subsequent communications. Interview question number 11 is, how do you prioritize your work? Tip number 1. Now, this question assesses 2 things: time management and organizing skills. Make sure you have a plan for how you organize your tasks and duties to ensure they are completed on time. And tip number 2, mention the following 3 things in your answer. Number 1, the fact that you will always create a list of the tasks you are responsible for. You then color code the list in order of priority, and then you assess how long each task will take to complete. So here is another brilliant answer to help you. How do you prioritize your work? I prioritize my work based on the needs of my company. I create a list of daily tasks, decide which ones need to be completed first based on the organization's commercial goals, and then decide how long they will take to complete. I often use a traffic light system for tasks based on priority level. Red tasks need my immediate attention, amber tasks are next, and green tasks can be completed when there is more time available. I also ensure flexibility in my working day to respond to my manager's urgent tasks or work requests. Interview question number 12 out of our 20 brilliant answers to difficult questions is, what motivates you? Be very careful how you answer this question. Tip number 1, unless you are applying for a sales position, do not say you are solely motivated by money. A job interview candidate who is motivated by financial reward will quickly move on to a new position if they are not rewarded with a high salary. And tip number 2, mention the following 3 motivators in your answer. Number 1, doing a great job, because that gives you lots of job satisfaction. Number 2, continuous improvement and professional growth. And number 3, being motivated by supporting your family. So here is another great answer to help you. What motivates you? I am motivated by 3 things: staying fit and healthy, doing an excellent job for my employer, and taking care of my family. Maintaining a fit and healthy lifestyle means I am energized to work to the best of my ability. Doing a great job for my employer gives me a sense of pride and job satisfaction. And finally, supporting my family means they will be happy and we can achieve our goals. I can only support my family with secure employment and a fair salary. Interview question number 13 is, share an example of when you worked well under pressure. This is a really tough question to answer. Tip number 1, now this is also called a behavioural interview question that requires a situation where you worked calmly and diligently to achieve a time-sensitive goal. Again, make sure you use the STAR method to structure your response: situation, task, action, and result. And tip number 2, good examples to give in your answer include completing a difficult project despite several challenges, and also completing additional work outside the scope of your job description to help the company in a time of need. So let me now give you a brilliant example answer to this question. Share an example of when you worked well under pressure. During my previous role, our team was tasked with delivering a client project within a week due to an unexpected deadline change. The project typically required 3 weeks to complete. I needed to ensure that the project was delivered on time without compromising quality. I began by breaking the project into manageable tasks and prioritizing them based on deadlines. I delegated responsibilities according to each team member's strengths. To stay organized, I implemented daily check-ins to track progress and address any issues immediately. Unfortunately, on the last day of the project, a co-worker fell ill and was unable to work. To overcome this challenge, I requested the skills of a co-worker from another department who was available to assist. Despite the challenging timeline, the project was delivered on schedule, exceeding the client's expectations. The experience taught me how to maintain focus under pressure, problem solve, and organise effectively to meet tight deadlines. Interview question 14 is, describe yourself in 3 words. Wow, this is a really difficult question to answer. Tip number 1. Now this next question requires 3 words that help you stand out from the other candidates. Avoid words such as team worker, hardworking, and friendly, because those words will not grab the attention of the hiring manager. And tip number 2, give words that demonstrate how you can add value to the company in the role. But which 3 words should you give? Let me tell you in the answer that follows. Describe yourself in 3 words. In 3 words, I would describe myself as cost-conscious, responsive, and results-oriented. My cost consciousness means I manage company supplies and resources to save money and seek ways to streamline systems and company processes. My responsiveness means I only need to be told to do something once and act quickly, which frees me up to do more tasks. And finally, I always set goals for myself to achieve, resulting in greater output and strong return on my salary. Interview question 15 is, tell me about a time you demonstrated leadership skills. Tip number 1. Now, although you may not be applying for a leadership position, the interviewer will want to hear evidence of how you take the lead if there is a problem at work. And again, don't forget to use our trusted STAR method to construct your answer, because they are asking for a specific situation. STAR method is situation, task, action, and result. Here is my perfect answer. Tell me about a time you demonstrated leadership skills. During team discussions for an upcoming critical client project, 2 of my co-workers recommended a shortcut that would help save the company money. They suggested we outsource a large portion of the project work to online contractors to save time and reduce costs. They argued that the client would not be aware that we had outsourced the work. It was my responsibility to make them aware of how dangerous this situation was using effective communication skills. I immediately objected to their proposal. I explained that it was not only unprofessional and unethical to take this approach, but that it also went against the contract we had signed with the client. The client trusted us to do the work based on our experience. Opting to outsource the work could ruin the company's reputation. After listening to my arguments against their proposal, my co-workers agreed it was a bad idea. The project was then delivered on time for the client and to the expected and agreed contract standard. Interview question 16 is, why is there a gap in your employment? Tip number 1, do not be afraid of any gaps in your employment or work history. The key to answering this question is to have a positive reason for the gap and to deliver your response with confidence. And tip number 2, positive reasons for employment gaps include raising your family, taking care of relatives, learning or training opportunities, or even travel. So here is a brilliant example answer. Why is there a gap in your employment? My employment gap is because I wanted to go traveling. It was a great experience because it taught me about different cultures and languages and the power of diversity. I have now finished my travels and don't plan to undertake them anymore, meaning I will be committed to the workplace. That is a brilliant positive answer to an employment gap based on travel. Interview question 17, what are your salary expectations? Tip number 1, now before your job interview, please make sure you research the salary range for your job role and industry. And you can easily research the salary range on the website glassdoor.com. Tip number 2, cover the following 3 things in your answer to this question. Number 1, give an explanation that you have researched the salary range for your job role and industry. That tells the hiring manager you are fully prepared. Number 2, tell them what your desired salary is. And then number 3, give the reasons why you are worthy of your chosen salary. Now in the answer that follows, I have highlighted salary figures in red. So all you need to do is research your salary range for the job role and industry on glassdoor.com and change the red highlighted figures. Here we go. What are your salary expectations? I researched the salary range for this job and industry before applying. The range is between $46,000 and $55,000. My requested salary is $54,000, and I would also like the opportunity to have my salary reviewed annually based on my contribution to the company. For $54,000, I will give you a great return by bringing creative ideas to the team to boost sales, a strong work ethic, and the promise that all my tasks and projects will be completed on time. Interview question 18 is one that needs a confident answer. Don't be afraid to sell yourself. Why should we hire you? Tip number 1. Now, I recommend you give the hiring manager 3 reasons why they should hire you. The majority of candidates will give just 1 reason. Now, at least one of your reasons should be focused on how you can add value to the company, preferably from a financial perspective. And tip number 2 is a great one. I recommend you use a 30, 60 and 90-day plan in your answer. So in the answer that follows, I will show you how to use this 30, 60 and 90-day plan to convince the hiring manager they should hire you. Once the answer is over, I will tell you where you can download this plan, print it off, and give it to the hiring manager when answering the question, why should we hire you? You should hire me for 3 reasons. First, I am an excellent match for the job description and a fast worker. This means I can immediately impact the team and will require minimal supervision. Second, I always work hard to seek ways to help my employer grow. For example, in my last job, I recommended that the company implement a customer feedback form on its website to gather ideas on how it could grow and meet customer needs. Finally, you should hire me because I have created a 30, 60 and 90-day plan that explains what I will do in the role in the first 3 months to give you a brilliant return on my salary, and I would like to give you a copy. Now, you then hand the interviewer your 30, 60 and 90-day plan at the end of your answer, and if you want to download this right now, click that link in the top right hand corner of the video. Interview question number 19 is, why do you want to work for us? Tip number 1. Now, most job seekers apply for many job roles simultaneously, which is at the same time. Therefore, they know very little about the companies they are applying to join, and the hiring manager wants to avoid hiring these people at all costs. Say that you have researched the company in your answer to gain a higher score, and also say some of the positive things that you have found attractive about them during your research. Here is the perfect answer. Why do you want to work for us? I want to work at this company because you have a solid reputation for creating excellent products, delivering outstanding service, and constantly innovating to stay at the cutting edge of what your customers and clients need. Because we spend so much time at work, I only want to work in an environment where I continually progress and develop. I spent some time researching your company before applying and was impressed with what I saw. It is evident that you have a positive workplace culture, you encourage your staff to be the best they can be, and you allow everyone to contribute to the business's success. Make sure you pause the video, write down the answer, and practice it before your interview. And interview question number 20, before I tell you where you can download all of the answers, is, do you have any questions for us? Tip number 1. Now, at the end of your job interview, you are going to have the opportunity to ask some questions of your own. Do not say, no, I don't have any questions, because you covered everything in the interview. I recommend you ask 3 smart questions that showcase your passion for doing a great job for their company. But which questions should you ask? I recommend you ask these 3. Do you have any questions for us? Thank you. I have 3 questions I would like to ask, please. Question 1, what does excellence look like in this position? Question 2, can you tell me more about the team I would be a part of in this role and their responsibilities? And question number 3, what's the biggest challenge the team is currently facing and what can I do to help them overcome it? Those are 3 great questions that will impress any hiring manager. Okay, now we have just worked through 20 top scoring answers to difficult interview questions. There are a further 10 questions and answers I want to give you. So you can instantly download all 20 we just worked through, plus another 10 by clicking that link in the top right-hand corner of the video, heading straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download my full set of 30 great answers to difficult interview questions. This comes as a PDF guide, which means you can literally have everything in your inbox within 2 minutes from now by clicking that link. Also, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thousands of you are passing your job interviews at the first attempt. I can only help you if you are subscribed. Please hit the like button and make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn. I have put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It is always an honor and a pleasure to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the very best for passing your interview. Have a great day.